Там, де спить тихий рай з нами, де в криницях мав'ячих зіницях блиску ночі.
Bom, pessoal, estou aqui em Goiânia agora, uma convidada especial aqui, trazendo para vocês notícias da Ana. Ela está viajando o mundo já tem 6 anos, está no Brasil pela segunda vez, está aqui em Goiânia, consertando a moto, fazendo alguma manutenção. Mas vamos ouvir essa história hoje aqui para vocês. Bom dia, Ana, tudo bom?
Bom dia, tudo bom? E você?
Tudo jóia, tudo jóia. Tell us about this moment in Goiânia. Is about maintenance of the bike.
Yes, maintenance, and I'm waiting for a few spare parts for my motorcycle, and because there are no spare parts in Brazil, this kind of spare parts, so we have to order them from Colombia, because that's where the main office of KTM in Latin America is. So I'm a little bit delayed because of that, but I met some nice people, and KTM dealership in Goiânia is very nice to me, so I feel well here.
This is the second time in Brazil?
Yes, second time in Brazil, but first time in this part of Brazil. Last time 3 years ago, I was only in the south. I reached Rio de Janeiro, and then I continued in Africa. So this time I decided to know much more, the north, northeast, Amazonia. So now I can say that I know much more Brazil than last time.
It's very nice part that you will know after Goiânia. The Amazon, Pantanal, recommended. Yes. Northeast, little beautiful beaches.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And your trip already done. You start from Ucraniana, and how was the way, the route?
Well, this is my second circle without interruption, so it's one journey, but second circle around the world. The first circle was done in 5 years, from 2013 till 2018, so all the continents except Antarctica. So I started from Ukraine, I crossed Russia, then Southeast Asia, Australia, North America, South America, Africa, the East Coast, and back to Europe. And then, without interruption, without going back home, I started the second circle from South America. So now I'm almost done with this leg of this trip, South America, and then I'm going back to Africa, to the West Coast. Then I think North America, again Australia, the north part, Asia, the countries that I haven't been to. So the idea of the second circle is to visit the countries or the roads that have not been done the first time.
Many people dream about a world trip, and you are doing 2 times. Very nice, very nice. The next question will be about the origins of the first world trip. Your motivation, why just go out of the world and riding? It's for me, it's a curiosity to know people, to know places, and what's your motivation?
Well, it's the same. I think that for everyone who wants to travel around the world, it's the same motivation. We want to know people, to see the places, to get some new experience, maybe to find answers to some questions about ourselves, about the world. But before this trip, I traveled also on the motorcycle, but for shorter distances, of course. And I worked in the office at that time, so I could not make like longer trips. But I never wanted to come back to the office, so I always wanted to do something longer. And I was not happy with my office job. I realized that this is not something for me. And one day I just decided that I have to change my life to enjoy it more. So I quit my job, and it took me more than a year to get prepared for this trip. And
you sell everything? You sell everything in...
Well, not everything. I still have my small apartment in Ukraine, but I sold my previous bike, and well, I couldn't get actually the cash for the trip itself. So when people are saying that, if I had $1 million, of course I would do the same like you. But I'm always saying that. But the thing is, I didn't have $1 million. I had $1,000 for 2 years. So if you can do this, please go ahead.
Yeah.
So there is this misconception in people's minds that first of all, to travel around the world a long distance, you need like a lot of money. And then there is another misconception that this is a fairy tale life. It's only magic, only happiness, and no job, no responsibilities. It's not like that, actually. And I can compare two ways of life, right, before and after, and I can say that this life is not easy at all. So it's for those who dream to travel around the world. Yeah, it's a nice dream, but when it comes to realization, it's a little bit different. I don't regret. This is still the best part of my life, and I was never sorry that I quit my job and I started to travel around the world.
Did you have a lot of planning? Or?
Yeah, I did have a lot
At
of
the
planning, but it turns out that when you start, all this planning is kind of yeah, because you cannot plan everything, especially when it's a several years trip.
Yeah.
You cannot plan every day or even every month, because
Just
now I did not plan
to the way.
Exactly. I didn't plan to be stuck in Goiânia for 2 weeks, for example, but there are some circumstances that are outside of your control. So the main quality, I think, of a traveler around the world, or long distance traveler, is the flexibility. You just have to adjust to the new circumstances that are out of your control.
And a new vision of how to
Yeah, like how to react and how
to react to the problems.
Yeah, and how to continue, how to rearrange your plans, and that's not easy. Even for me, after 6 years, I try to keep everything under control, and when something is going wrong, I feel annoyed, I feel angry, but I understand that this is wrong, and maybe this situation came to teach me that I have to be more flexible and even more patient, more more open-minded.
One bad experience or bad problem you would like to share with us?
Well, I cannot say that there were some really bad experiences, but for example, something that goes out of your control, like this situation, or when you have problems with visa. Sometimes in some parts of the world you cannot get visa easily. Yeah, to cross the borders. Or sometimes there are some political challenges in the country. You cannot enter or you cannot go outside. This kind of things.
Related to the moving, but with the safety, health, and something. You pass through.
Well, with health, I think I'm very lucky. I have quite good health, but I try to take care also, and I think I have healthy habits. So I had some maybe flu and coughing, sneezing, but nothing really.
No tasting bad food.
No, not really. I like to taste local food in every country, and I think that my stomach is quite good. So I'm very lucky with that.
Yeah, there are always some bad stories about food and local food and strange food.
That I had actually food poisoning was in India. Yeah, so it was really bad. I had a fever and I had to take antibiotics, but otherwise, no, I'm quite lucky.
Riding through cities or more desert roads?
Different. Every kind, of course. Again, my travel is a little bit different because I don't have set up schedules or dates. It's not that I have 2 weeks and I have to make a plan if I'm interested more on this kind of roads or that kind of roads. I would say that now I'm not traveling anymore. I don't have the trip or journey anymore. This is my life on the road. Yeah. I think this is a big difference. So
it's a twist in mind.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I hear about traveling, for me it's always some limits. There is limit in time, limit in distance and everything, but when you live your life, there are no limits actually. So this is my life on the road. This is not traveling anymore. So I welcome into my life on the road all kinds of roads, all kinds of people, all kinds of experience, emotions, etc., etc.
And now it's opened my mind. I never thought about the life in the road. Just a travel, long travel, distance time. Very
yeah,
nice,
at some point, it switches your mind. I don't know when exactly it happened in my mind, because before it started as a project and as a traveling, and I had some certain limits. My limit was 2 years on the road to cross all the continents, certain number of countries, but then it kept extending, 3 years, then 4 years, and then I just gave up. I decided no planning, no more planning, no more limits. I enjoy my life on the road, and I just let it happen. I let it flow.
At this point, I was thinking about how getting some money to continue. Did you have financial, how to say, sponsor?
No.
Parts sponsor, tires, something like that. Some adventurers work in the country, work a little, travel a little, work a little, travel a little. How is your philosophy about this?
Well, as I said, when I started my trip 6 years ago, I had $1,000. Well, this is not enough even for 2 months of traveling. And honestly, I did not believe that I can continue traveling like more than several months. But I decided that I will start, and if it's meant to be, it would be. If it's not meant to be, then I will go back home. And because I could not save money, I could not get sponsorship, so I don't have sponsorship. Actually, I have some support from the KTM company in terms of motorcycle and maintenance, but all the other expenses for the traveling, this is my responsibility.
And the bike is not the most expense at the travel at all. The life is hosting, eating.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite expensive to maintenance the bike, especially KTM. So I really appreciate help of the worldwide company KTM. But you are right. Like other expenses, it's much bigger parts, and I always have to search for the ways to get money. Sometimes doing some job like writing or taking photos. Sometimes doing presentations for the company, so for the motorcycle communities, like selling my stickers or postcards. You know, so every bit
Counts.
yeah, exactly, counts. But it's always the situation of insecurity. I never know where I will sleep or what I will eat in a few days, you know. So it's always like a pressure on your mind. So it's not only about riding, not only about traveling, but also about looking for the ways to continue this traveling.
For living.
And yeah, as I said, I'm not a millionaire, and I wish I could have like $1 million on my bank account. It would make things easier. But on the other hand, it allows me to witness all the magic around me, you know, because sometimes you don't have the possibility to send your motorcycle from one continent to another continent because it's a huge amount of money. But then somehow the ways have been open in front of you, the doors have been open in front of you. So you just have to, again, to have an open mind and trust and faith in yourself, in the universe, and it really works.
I think the same. I used to talk with my friends about the let's wait and see what the road will bring to us.
Exactly, because when you make the first step, you don't know where the road will take you. You don't know what is waiting for you around the corner. So you cannot make a plan for every step on your road. So you just have to start doing this. Because if you wait until everything is planned, you will never start doing anything. Or maybe you can start, but then all your plans are mixed up, and then what? And then you are in despair, what shall I do? No, you just have to rearrange everything.
That's the point. Start with all you have, and how to react with the problems is make the person stronger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But still you have to be but you have to be responsible, and you have to do your best to prepare, to make a plan, to find resources. But sometimes it goes out of your control again, and sometimes you just have to make a step into the unknown. So it's really worth.
Where we can read more about your plan, your travel, a site, a blog, YouTube, something?
Yes, I have all the social media, but I'm more active on Facebook and Instagram. I have YouTube channel as well, but because I don't have any support with my social media, I do everything myself, and sometimes I just don't have time to update all the social media. But Facebook and Instagram are more or less up to date always. So it's a Facebook page, Anna Grechishkina, Instagram, YouTube with my name. Yeah. I have a blog as well. I have a dreamtravel.info, but again, because of the lack of time.
And now in the card.
Yes, on the card, all my.
We will put
links.
in the letters in the description of the video. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, very nice talking. And you opened my mind about the living on the road.
Well,
very nice.
it's something that when I talk to people, very often they feel very sad and say, "But I cannot do something like you do," But I say that it's not necessary. My message is not to convince everybody to leave their jobs and to live on the road. It's not like this. My message is about following the dreams, and everybody has his or her own dream. If your dream is to travel, then go ahead. But maybe your dream is to make a family and to be mother of 10 children. That's great. Or you have a dream to make a profitable business. That's also a great dream. So you just start doing something on the way to your dream. So my dream was like this.
Very nice, very nice. O recado que ela deu é: siga seus sonhos. Beleza, rapaziada? Nós vamos deixar aqui a descrição, acompanhem a viagem dela. E olha, fantástica entrevista aqui. Valeu! Rádio 400, onde a música tem potência e toque.
Essa é a Rádio Quatro Tempos, o melhor do rock and roll para você.